Has a total of 38 confirmed COVID-19 cases after Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe announced that 7 more people tested positive for the virus. Nairobi leads with the most cases in the country with 28, followed by Kilifi with 6. Mombasa recording 2, and both Kajiado and Kwale registering 1 each. Now, to date, 833 people have been tested for the coronavirus disease, and testing is set to go into high gear from tomorrow. The Ministry of Health will embark on mass testing for all individuals who arrived in the country last week and are currently under mandatory quarantine in various designated hotels and government facilities. Stephen Letoo begins our broadcast with more on the government measures.
As the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases continue to rise in the country, the government has identified Nairobi County as the epicenter of infections, having recorded the highest number of cases.
The trend that we have seen here in terms of increasing numbers is not a healthy one. And I want to warn Kenyans that this is where our focus should be. It is important to remember that all the 38 Kenyans we are talking about come from one village, they come from one family, they come from one estate or somewhere within Kenya.
Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe says all the 28 positive cases in Nairobi have been traced to all the 17 constituencies in the city, warning Nairobians that they risk encountering a chain of contacts of COVID-19 patients.
There is not a single estate now in Nairobi that has not been touched with the 28 people that I'm talking about. Your neighbor could very, very easily be positive.
The government says it has put all systems in place for the start on Sunday of the mass testing of the over 2,000 people who arrived back in the country from last week.
And you know, as we start on the mass tests, we are going to get more and more and more. The person you are standing next to right now throughout Kenya, look at that person. That person may be positive.
With Nairobi being the epicenter, the government is concerned about longer chains of contacts, calling on Kenyans to maintain social distance at all times.
The over 1,000 contacts we are talking about are also going to be with another 1,000 contacts somewhere along the line. This is how this disease spreads. This is how people in Italy and elsewhere are dying in the thousands per day.
To break the transmission chain, the government has also resolved to put all those identified as having come into contact with the positive patients to mandatory quarantine at selected government quarantine zones. The government has intensified surveillance in all the hotspots, with contact tracing upscaled to have both primary and secondary contacts quarantined.
We keep that kind of distancing and limit the contact as much as possible, then even public transport will not be dangerous. If we squeeze ourselves and rush in an indisciplined manner, just know when you are squeezing in, you might be squeezing yourself to coronavirus.
Stephen Letoo, Citizen TV.